Hey, what's going on guys? Mark back in the workshop on Mark's Aquatics. Right, on this little episode we're going to be visiting the Paludarium behind me there, and I've got 3 new fish in there which I put in last week. They've settled in nicely now, so I think what we'll do is we'll spin the camera around and we'll check them out and you can see what they are. Okay guys, you can see them there right at the back. I've got 3 lovely perch in there. Now I'm going to try and get a little bit closer. You can see the rudd slowly drifting by. We've still got the sticklebacks in there as well. We got the rudd. I've got to be so careful, being a little bit spooky, these guys. But you can see the little shoulder rudd there up the end where the filter pipes are. Look at those little guys go. You come all the way back down to there, hiding all over the place in here. Well, what I'm going to try and do now, as you can see, I've got my fake fishing floats in there as well, which look rather cool, I think. Obviously no hooks on there, guys. We don't want to be catching them, but you can see that 2 or 3 little perch there in the background. Absolutely stunning. Rudd have come in beautiful colours. As you can see there, they're just as quite, they've got that big JBL filter on there, which they kindly sent me, and that is really pushing out quite a flow. Which they love to just hold in. There's a few more now joining the gang. They're all going to spin around into the current. Look at that. And there's that big perch right at the end there, just sat on the sand. Not sure if you can see him. I'll just turn you around a bit. Right down there by that filter pipe, which I've got to camouflage slightly. But they're all looking fantastic in there. The wall's growing really well. As you can see guys, the wall is growing away beautifully. I've got another little float over the other end there, which is just bobbing around, and the little kingfisher up in his little branch. But all the mosses, now this mind your own business, whatever it's called, or creeping Jenny, has gone absolutely ballistic. It's covering the back wall now. I'm going to have to start thinning some of it out. The ferns are starting to go over. If you can see there, starting to go over now as it's autumn. And I've got the daylight hours set similar to the daylight here. So it's... they're slowly starting to wilter away. Now if I move super slow, maybe come across the top, you'll see all the fish underneath. There's the perch. You can see my camouflage top. It's absolute murder in here because I've got the tank behind me, and it's very glary. So I'm going to try and creep this way a bit. Keep my hands out of the screen. Now there's one of the perch there. I think if I get close enough to the screen, to the tank, sorry, that'll cut that glare out, hopefully. But look at that little guy there. Beautiful. He's got his little fin up there. Beautiful red fins. Look at that. And there's his mate. So the footage ain't brilliant, guys. I do apologise. I'll try and get some footage later on when it's a bit darker. Now I've got another box of fish coming on Friday. This is Wednesday today. I'm filming this, so I'm going to put this video out on Sunday, so we'll do an unboxing of the fish as well. But this is looking super cool. This is, look at that, absolutely beautiful green. We've got the waterfall with the other pump there going through the back, which that filtration system I built, which goes all the way through that media at the back there, and then comes out over here in that little waterfall. A little bit of cyanobacteria on the sand as well. So but that is super easy to get rid of, guys. If you've got some hydrogen peroxide 6%, okay, get a big, well, I'll show you actually. I've got a, okay guys, there you go. Now I use this hydrogen peroxide 6% food grade, and I use a 50ml syringe, okay, with a needle on it, but it's not a super sharp one. It's a bit of a flattish end to it, which I use for getting rid of aptasia in my marine system. And then it works very well if you just inject a little piece of that, fill that syringe up, and then I won't go sticking my hands in the tank now, but where you get that cyanobacteria, those little green patches, all you got to do is just squirt it under the sand, and it will basically, hydrogen peroxide will turn itself back into oxygen and water, and it'll bubble like crazy, and what it does is it makes the conditions really unbearable for that cyanobacteria, and it kills it off. Okay, now I did have some in here, quite a bit in here last week. The tench I've got in here as well, which are always hiding somewhere, I can never find them. They root around in this quite a lot during the evening time, and they sort of break it all up, which spreads it around again, and you only need a little piece for it to start spreading. So where's all these fish gone? I think they've all gone hiding behind their log, which they like to go. With this tank, the way I built it, I'll just stand back a bit, it's got a nice big ridge. This is 2 foot wide, this tank, okay, so it goes probably 6 to 8 inches under there where they all like to go. You can see them all darting around there, so it gives it a little bit of shade on that back there, just so it mimics a bank in nature, so they can cruise on underneath it, and it gives them a little bit of safety. Now I did have a big log in that corner as well, which was actually getting engulfed, but I found what it was doing, it was actually wicking some water out, and it was leaking out down the back. So I've taken that out, so you can see a little bit of the polystyrene at the back there. I'm just going to put some more plants in there, and I'm just going to leave that one big log in there where they can go around the back and have a nice time playing around in the current. But you can see them all there now. I've got a power head there as well, which every sort of hour or so it starts blowing. It's on a timer, so it starts to blow the water that way, so you get an opposite. We've got the pump here, that big JBL, which is blowing, sucking in that end, and then it blows it this way, and obviously creates a circular motion, not a circular, a circular motion around this way. And then every sort of hour or so that pump comes on and blows it that way, so it keeps any detritus on the bottom up in the suspended up in the water, and then the filters will filter it out. Okay, look at that. I'm glad I took all the minnows back to the river now, because those perch would have made short work of those, that's for sure. But we can start feeding them maggots and different things. And if any of you guys want to watch me build this setup, I built it from start to finish. Go back in my playlists, and there's from start to, well, I'll put this video on it as well. I think there's about maybe six videos, not quite sure, maybe five or six, and you can watch me build this and how I created it with all the dripper system in the back and everything else. Somebody is at the door. Right guys, the APC have just been with the fish, and there they are. Look at that. We've got 5 little mirror carp hiding in here. You can just see them whizzing around there. Couple over there. So what I'm going to do is I've just set up this little tank here behind my shrimp tank with a little light on, and I'm going to put them in there now so you guys can have a look at them before they go in there. Okay guys, there you go. I've just put them in. We got 5 of them. A little bit of split fins, but they'll soon heal up. But they've got some beautiful scale patterns on them. A little bit stressed out at the moment for obvious reasons, but they're going to calm down. I'm going to take some of this water out now and start the acclimation process. We're just going to drip them in over about 20 minutes. I'll take probably 20% of that, well, probably take about 50% of that water out of there. Take some of that rubbish out, and then we'll put some fresh water in there, let these guys calm down a little bit. Right guys, I've started the acclimation process. They're starting to chill down a bit. Still a little bit lively. I've turned the light down a little bit dimmer. So we're just going to give these guys 20 minutes. But look at that, we've got some beautiful, beautiful scale patterns on these. Now I know a lot of you guys are going to say these grow absolutely massive, up to like 80 pounds, and you'd be right. But I've got the Paludarium. They're going to stay in there for as long as they outgrow that. And then I've got my big indoor pond, which I'm going to put them in when they outgrow that. So there's no worries about me keeping them for probably a couple of 2 to 3 years, I would have thought, before they outgrow even that, and then I can move them along to somewhere else. But I'm going to enjoy these little guys for the time that I'm going to keep them, that's for sure. But they're starting to calm down a little bit now. Odd little bumps and knocks on the noses where they've been in through the transport, but they should be okay. As you can see there in the Paludarium, there's some red maggots racing around in there, which I've put in earlier on, so I want to make sure everything's nice and fed before I put these little mirror carp in. Everything's hiding away as usual. They'll probably all be down there in the back behind the log. That's what our English fish like to do. Well, most fish like to do in the wild is hide away somewhere where the shadows are, and that's the reason, like I said earlier, why I made this nice recess at the back there, like a riverbank, so they can get underneath it and hide away and feel safe if they want to get away. Right guys, they've had half an hour to settle in. It's one of my little sticklebacks there. Look, if you can see them, I'll just zoom in on you. They've grown loads since we put them in as tiny little fry all those weeks back. Those stone loaches are still in here as well. They live under the stones. I think there's one lives in a little lair just underneath, but he's been out. He's having a go at a little maggot. I don't think you're going to fit that in your gob, mate. You're not that big. But they do give it a go, that's for sure. Right, I'm going to take these little guys out now. I'm going to be careful. I'm going to wet my hand. And we can put these little chaps in one at a time. Come on then. In you come. Do you want to be number one? There you go. Now then, we can put him under the water. And off you go. Look at that. Fantastic stuff. I'll just keep you on him a moment. Oh, I got two that time, which is better still. Off you go. Go that way and you'll find your mates. And they're just going to hide down in amongst their new home. There's number 4 and number 5. Here you go. Oh, he was keen to get out. And there you go. That's number 5. And they've just chilled out on the bottom now. I'm just going to dry my hands and we'll get some more footage. There you go. He's just settled in nicely on the bottom now. Like I said, a little bit of fin damage, a little bit of tear in there, but that's nothing to worry about. Carp are super strong fish and he'll heal up in no time at all. We've got lovely water conditions in here, and he'll soon find them maggots and other things we're going to put in there and feed him up. A couple of the carp have gone to the back there to say hello to the tench and the perch. We've got another perch over in that corner there, and a couple of those little carp are up there as well. There goes another one. I think what I'm going to get is a nice piece of half log, I think, to go down there, a nice bit of half tree, and that'll make that look nice. That'll give me another job to do. But as you can see, they're all cruising around right in the gloom in the back. I think this little guy's still here. Yep, there he is. Hello. Here comes another one, just swimming around the back there. That's one thing I do love about this, is the fact that they've got that nice little dark bit. That's how strong the current is in here. He's getting blown around. Go and see your mate. There he is. Right guys, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some food, a little bit of flake food, and I'm going to feed them. I'm going to sit down, set this up on a tripod, and you can watch them have a little feed, okay? Right guys, I'm going to let these little chaps settle in. Hope you enjoyed that little update on these little fish. I'll give you an update on these very soon to let you know how they're getting on. And as always, York Stars, thanks for tuning in. Love you loads, take care, and I'll see you on the next edition of Marcus Aquatics. Bye for now.